you don't belong to the world. You were sent here to shake it. That's why you feel disconnected from the system, from societal norms, and from the illusions people cling to. I also feel that there's a campaign that an individual or individuals has been engaged in to stop you from your rise, to stop you from progressing any further down your path. I feel that a lot of you have been targeted ever since you turned your life around, or ever since you started to become a better version of yourself, which isn't something that you expected at all. In fact, I think that you expected more of the opposite, that people would be proud of you, that people would lift you up, that you were finally able to break through or accomplish something you've been working on for a while. Or maybe it was just some sort of personal triumph, something that you had been battling with for years. But regardless, there is something here that wants to stop you from being able to rise any higher on your path. What do we have at the foundation of the reading? Unbelievable. Two of Wands, Aries energy at the foundation of the reading. Now, as we can see here, there's this trickster energy behind you. And see how they're sitting down? It's almost as if they can't fool you anymore. You have the world in the palm of your hand. And the Two of Wands is the perfect representation of the message that I'm picking up for you, because this is all about forward momentum. It's about progress. You are finally on this path now, or you're preparing to step onto it, where you have a clearer vision of where you're going. And this isn't to say that you have it all worked out, because none of us do. But you feel guided. You feel seen, I feel, for the first time in a very long time, or maybe it's just in a different way. I also feel that because you have stepped into this newfound sense of purpose and confidence, you have been given access to a dirty little secret, I just heard very clearly, which represents what these individuals have been doing. This could just really speak about these individuals engaging in some sort of harassment campaign against you, however that shows up for you, and they think that they've been doing this without being seen, without being noticed. But the divine has shown you, the divine has given you receipts, I feel, as well. I feel that a lot of you have evidence against some people here who have been doing some things to make your life more difficult. I feel that all you really want is peace. I feel that you just want to be left alone to focus on your path in your life. This could be connected to individuals you had to leave behind to step onto this path. And it's not that they don't want to let you go because they have a love for you. They don't want to let you go because it makes them feel slighted. They feel like you think you're better than them because you're moving on to better things that don't include them. But that's their choice. They decided not to put the work in. In fact, they have spent more time, I feel, focused on you and what you're doing than themselves. But with this Two of Wands, I feel that you are walking with spirit now. You have nothing to worry about. Yes, I feel that these energies can be very annoying, but Spirit is trying to encourage you to use all of this to your advantage. You know, it could be that these situations allow you to have a deeper understanding of the psychological makeup of the narcissist. And I just heard of the psychopath. What do we have at the sacral, please? Magician and the Lovers. Perfect. So the Magician is you taking all of this and transmuting it into something positive. All the struggle, all the pain, all the harassment, so to speak, whatever it may be for you. All of those weapons that people have formed against you, these are all the things that Spirit is trying to show you that you can create from. I feel like I'm picking up on a lot of artistic people. I'm seeing somebody painting in my mind's eye right now. Doesn't have to be just that. And for another group of you, maybe you're being encouraged to start utilizing some sort of artistic skills that have remained dormant. I feel like a lot of these things are exactly those things that these individuals never wanted you to realize were gifted to you by the divine to engage with in this life cycle. I also feel that a lot of you have been dealing with different forms of spiritual parasitism. Now, what this is when you basically try to help other people with spiritual guidance or insight. And instead of these people taking the positive from that and respecting that exchange, they latch onto you or twist your words. It's a way to try and manipulate you into their narrative. It's a parasitic dynamic that people who are not ready to put in the work, but go out of their way to come for you, to stop you from developing any more spiritually, will engage in, because again, you make them feel slighted. This can also be referred to as energy vampirism, right? So it's when people really drain your energy by trying to keep you engaged in their delusions. Or another one that people will use, which is a big one, is spiritual narcissism. They try to reframe everything to make themselves feel like the enlightened one while gaslighting you into thinking that you're actually crazy. There's probably not a single person listening to this reading right now that hasn't dealt with this at some point in their life without even realizing it. You only really start to recognize this and that you have been subjected to this for a very long time when you start putting the work in. You start to look back on your path and you realize, wow, I've been surrounded by these kinds of people my entire life and I didn't even really see it. They just wanted me to feel like there was something wrong with me, that I was out of my mind, or I was crazy, or I was just an oddball. I wasn't like everybody else, which is partially true. That's right. You're not like everybody else. Yes, you are the oddball, but only because you are the minority. See, there's a lot more of them than there is of us. It all comes down to people using some sort of projection warfare against you. Instead of self-reflection, they turn it into, you're the one with the problem, not me. Even though you're not actually telling them that they have a problem. You're just trying to be on your way. But they come after you like they have something to prove. And they make it their life's work to try and prove to you that they are something greater than you. And again, this all comes from feeling like they're lesser than you without it actually being verbalized from you. This can also be seen as really irritating the demons within them, right? It's like those shadow parts of them that want to be healed, that want to be embraced and loved, are trying to come to the surface for healing, and they are trying to push it down by any means necessary. Now, having said all of this, and however these things may be showing up for each one of you, you have a tremendous opportunity here to do a lot of great things with these difficulties that you have faced on your path. And something I truly believe is that the most difficult things that we go through in our lives are directly connected to what we're actually supposed to be doing in this life cycle. It makes perfect sense. Because when you overcome certain things in your life, you are now the keeper of some sort of knowledge or wisdom or experience. And you cannot place value on this sort of wisdom. It cannot be bought. It can only be lived. And with this magician and this lovers at the sacral and solar plexus, you're starting to have an understanding of this now. The magician is you harnessing all of this wisdom and giving it back to the people, whatever that means for you in your reality. But you're not doing this alone. You're working with spirit and your higher self, which is all depicted here. Lower self, higher self, right? Masculine, feminine, and then spirit, which is the electricity, I like to say, between us. It's the energy that glues everything together. It's the energy that guides us. This is all divinely ordered, and this is also something that you were starting to recognize now, that nothing was coincidental. Everything in your life, every step you have taken, has purpose and meaning behind it. And you typically don't conclude this until you get past the struggle, right? Once you get over that threshold and you look back, you're able to look at your life from outside the fishbowl, from a higher vantage point, which gives you a deeper understanding that allows you to see a kind of framework, kind of outline. There's a design. And when you start to have this kind of perspective, you can have a lot of fun with your life. You start to realize that there's not much that you can't accomplish. Once you have trust and faith that everything happening in your life is a part of a grand design that we can never quite possibly understand. But if we allow ourselves to flow with it, if we allow ourselves to just let go, surrender to it without fighting, without feeling like we've gone unnoticed by the universe, then you can truly start living. What do we have at the heart, please? Lovers again. Wow. So obviously I just switched decks, And to get that back to back like that is very significant. 78 cards in each deck, so 156 cards, and we get those two back to back. Now, there's a big difference here, though, between these two lovers, because this one here, we're looking into the future at what you're heading towards, right? It's like we're a fly on the wall. You're not quite there yet. It's like Spirit is trying to say to you, right? With this Two of Wands, hey, right? You have this higher vantage point. This is what's possible. You could turn all of this struggle into something beautiful. And now with this Lovers at the Heart, we're looking at it head on, right? So your higher self is coming down to rescue you. And there's the serpent slithering up the tree, right? So the temptation. It's like that's representing the material world. It's representing a lower understanding. But now your higher self is aligning with you, or rather, you're aligning with your higher self. Here's Spirit, the energy between, bringing you together and trying to show you, hey, you've been through all that, but there's a reason for it. And now I'm going to show you what it is. And in a lot of the readings, I've been speaking about how I 100% believe that our higher self is just future us. It's a version of us that's a little further down the track. It's like it's looking back, trying to make sure that we're still following behind. There's a connection between future you and the you in the here and now. And this is to help guide you, to help align you. It's like there's a chain, a cord between the two of you. And once you start to connect with this sort of higher understanding of how these different versions of ourself work, you can start to, well, really predict your own future or get close enough. You know, those intuitive hits, those things that you feel calling you from within, that's your higher self. That's future you sending a message back to you. It's like future you is using your intuition like it's Morse code. All of a sudden, you just start to get this deep yearning to want to do something or create something, or you feel like there's just something that you need to go after. That's your higher self speaking to you. And the more you listen to this and start to follow this, which, yes, it's very difficult to do this because it takes a lot of faith and you never quite perfect it. But once you just start to try and let go and follow some of it, you start to see that more and more is beginning to align and work out in your life, which gives you more faith to try it even more. And then as time goes on, you start to become a kind of intuitive guru, but in your own world, your own reality. And before you know it, you're on a completely different timeline. All the things that you've dreamt about, all the things that you felt calling you are a part of your reality. And it almost feels as though it took very minimal effort. It doesn't feel that way when you're in the throes of the spiritual battle, because that's what it is. It feels very difficult. But once you get to the other side, you look back and you go, oh, whoa, if I had to, I think I could do it again. But this time it would be much easier because I know what to expect. And then as your life goes on, you just start to manifest yourself into a reality that were once a part of this dream space that you never thought would be something that you could actually access. You know, in some cases, I feel that our dreams are echoes of where our future self is, where our higher self is already existing, sending us back images or feelings. Because our higher self benefits from trying to align us with our true north with much more ease. As we begin to understand where our higher self may be, we can begin to work in tandem with our future self to elevate even higher. And then right on the bottom of the deck, Scorpio energy, the death card. Perfect. So we're starting to see that there's a complete transformation that is unfolding, preparing to unfold, or wanting to unfold, depending on where you are on the timeline. The death card is wanting you to bring an ending to these certain cycles where all of this was just a part of your imagination or a part of your dream space. They want to show you how to bring this into your waking life, into your reality. It's not a coincidence. It's not just a thing that you have this yearning, this feeling, this calling. It's all there for a reason. And I feel that a lot of you are about to actually experience this. If you've been putting the work in, and you all know who you are, right? There's no reason why this won't begin to unfold in your life. What do we have in the throat? Wow. 10 of Pentacles. So there it is. There's the dream. There's the yearning. There's the vision. There's the calling. The wealthiest card in the tarot coming right out at the throat. At the communication. Your struggles. The pain of the past being transmuted through your communication. However that shows up for you. Now, getting ringing in my ear, which is indicating a lot of you are resonating with this 10 of Pentacles at the throat. Again, the communication, right? So you're being called to do something here. Now, communication obviously isn't just speaking. You can communicate by creating something, a visual representation of something. You can paint something. That's a form of communication. Okay, so think about all of those possibilities there and what resonates with you the most. I feel that that is the key to access this new beginning. That's how you find your way through. Sometimes, well, actually a lot of times, Spirit guides us to go down a certain path, only to send us down another once we start making our way. Something you begin with now could develop into something else. You may find that Spirit's guiding you to do something, and then a year down the line, you're not doing that anymore, but you had to go down that path to find the other path. It's like you're finding treasure. And the 10 of Pentacles is the card in the tarot that represents a kind of treasure. It represents your divine blessings. It also represents your legacy. So what we're getting here is very clear. Here you are, right? Gaining perspective. You're gathering the ideas. There's the struggle behind you, right? The trickster, however that shows up for you. You're starting to develop these ideas of what's possible here, magician. You start to co-create, or you start to understand that Spirit is going to help you co-create, rather. And then you start to co-create. You take the first step, which leads you to this 10 of Pentacles. And this right here is why you are dealing with these relentless campaigns that these individuals are engaging with against you. It all has to do with this. You know, some of you have taken these attacks against you very hard, and I get it. It's difficult not to, right? You just want to be left alone. But something that you're going to have to really come to understand is that these things have to happen. It's all a part of your path. It was all a part of the plan for you. You know, people who reject truth will try to twist it. Kinds of spiritual manipulators who disguise themselves as enlightened. These kinds of people are everywhere. But like they say, do not engage with fools. Focus on your path and learn how to transmute all of this negative energy that they send towards you into fuel, into purpose, into meaning. You have to understand that those who refuse self-reflection always attack the ones who are holding the mirror, okay? But you have to stand firm. Refuse to play these people's games. Do not engage. You are preparing to step into a timeline where you have too much to lose. You have been gifted with something. I just heard a lot of you have a calling over your life, okay? People who have been tasked with doing something of this magnitude in this life cycle are always going to be faced with struggle. It's all a part of it. You were chosen because you could handle it. Most of you, none of you are going to remember accepting the mission, but you did because Source knew that you could get the job done. Your life holds a tremendous amount of meaning. And I'm hearing something about a legacy that echoes well beyond your time here. What you're working towards is far greater than your life alone. There's something here that you are going to leave behind, a kind of wisdom that will help future generations overcome the struggles that you may have been faced with on your path. What do we have at the third eye, please? Wow. Page of Wands at the third eye. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Look at that. Does that not encapsulate everything that I've been speaking about here? Here you are. Moving on. because you have to. It's your calling. And then this energy back here, right? That's that energy that you're moving on from, that just can't let you go, that can't leave you alone. But again, not because they love you. Simply because if they can't have it, then neither can you. But that's just it. It's all connected. Your experience in dealing with this situation is what is allowing you to even open up this portal to this legacy to begin with. It's as if they are handing this to you on a silver platter. The campaigns against you, it's a gift. It's a blessing. Yes, I know. It doesn't feel like that in the moment. But after some time passes, you always gather something amazing from it. And you always look back and you're thankful for having gone through that situation because of where it's gotten to you in that current moment on your path. And that's coming right out at the third eye, which is all connected to your vision and your deeper understanding, being able to see beyond and see the greater design for your life and where you're being guided to. What do we have at the crown, please? The moon. Pisces energy at the crown. And now here we are. We can see very clearly what we couldn't see before. The moon is illuminating to you what was once hidden, what you weren't able to see until you were on your way. See, as we're starting to see the full context of this row of cards, this looks more and more like the vision, right? The intuitive download you're receiving. This is the here and now. And then all of this is what is about to come, right? Just really depends where you are on the timeline. It's going to be different for all of you. But now, after you see this vision, you're on your way. And once you're on your way, the moon illuminates the truth to you. We see these barking dogs. It's this very chaotic, very disruptive kind of energy. But it's almost as if that's representing what was happening spiritually. You couldn't see this. You just felt something. And look, here you are on your way. Right? And here you are just thinking, in contemplation. You're starting to put pieces together. Why do I feel like this person was always holding me back? Were they involved in this, that, and the other? And then the moon, it's right here. Yes, we've been trying to show this to you for ages, but we couldn't get you to see this and understand this until you disengaged. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. How could they be so evil? How could they do that to me? I know. You know, we read these stories of all the prophets in the Bible and what they went through. You know, all of this, the things that we all deal with in our current day, is just a modern day version of what the prophets dealt with. See, all those stories align with just about everything that you go through in your everyday waking life. Every struggle you face, you can find a biblical connection to. It's all there. Nothing is new under the sun. It has all happened. And when you start to really understand how this works, you begin to wrestle with the idea that there is a grand design. Yes, we do have free will in a sense, but I think it can also be said that we just have different options that we can choose from in any given moment, which I guess people see that as free will. But in the end, I do feel that we are all being guided to an ultimate outcome, which aligns with our North Node, the path that Spirit intended us to walk. And then there's the path that obviously goes in the opposite direction, and countless other detours in between that ends up at one or the other. There's no measure to this, but there is something going on. What do we have at the foundation, please? Wow, unbelievable. The star, Aquarius energy. Go ahead and hand over that purpose. You won't be needing that, chosen one. The star card from this deck is an energy that does not want you to be seen, does not want you to be noticed, wants you to be ignored, does not want you to align with your true north. What do we have? The sacral, please. Wheel of Fortune. Sag energy at the sacral. So now we can see very clearly. There's that trickster energy back there, whoever that represents for you. And this is their true intention. This is what they've been trying to do the entire time. To knock you off of your path. It says right there, can cause love or hate. Can move from place to place. Yeah, again, I'm picking up on this harassment campaign or whatever it is, whatever resonates with you here, where they've been trying to trick you or fool you. It's like somebody who harasses you by way of email. You don't know who it is. You just know that it's coming from a unknown email and it's annoying. So you block that email, you go on with your life, and then all of a sudden you start getting more from another email. It's like every time you check your email, you have to play whack-a-mole with another person that's trying to harass you in some form or another. But then as time goes on, you begin to realize that it's all the same person. For a lot of you, this is a family member that's been harassing you, or a jealous friend. It's someone you know, though. I also feel that this person is not as smart as they think they are. It's like their dirty little secret, like I mentioned earlier in the reading, is that they are engaged in a harassment campaign with you and they don't think you know it's them. But you do now. And the Wheel of Fortune, I mean, this really just speaks about them, this common denominator that is either in your life or is no longer in your life, but it's something about them. They're this negative external force that has always kept you stuck in a rut. They bring stress into your life, even now. Even though they're not a part of your life, they just somehow weasel their way in. They slither their way in. Somehow, they find a crack. This is what this person has reduced themselves to. This is who they are. You know, they say that a lot of who a person truly is the person they are when they're by themselves, when nobody else is watching. So if this is what this person engages with when they're by themselves, this is all they do. That's who they are. There are countless scriptures about people like this. See, it's very hard for a lot of you to truly understand what it does to people who have this kind of spiritual illness when they see another individual spiritually evolving. The thing a monster fears the most is having to look at themselves in the mirror. Just by existing, you hold the mirror. A lot of you don't even realize this, but just think about it. You were tasked with doing this merely by existing and focusing on your purpose and your path and becoming the best you that you can possibly be. This is what you do to people. What do we have at the solar plexus? Four of Pentacles, Val 4, Capricorn energy at the solar plexus. What you're going to start experiencing once you finally break away from these energies is that they were having a tremendous impact on your finances and just your overall success. You also start to experience these sort of dips with your success every time you allow the actions, the weapons they form against you, in a way that disempowers you. Okay, now this is very challenging, right? But as we've concluded here, Spirit wants to make sure that you understand that all this is happening for a reason, and you need to allow this to empower you. As annoying as it is, these are how your blessings are actually being given to you through these attacks. You're meant to step back and look at these attacks, understand these individuals from a deeper psychological perspective and what may be going on there, and extract the wisdom, the experience, the knowledge, the blessings, the gifts from all of that, and then use that as fuel for your path. Period. Don't allow these situations, these attacks to knock you down. Spirit is allowing these things to happen. It was all a part of your contract. They can't hurt you. Okay, nothing can happen to you unless you allow it. And how do you allow it, right? Well, really just by getting in that headspace of, I can't believe they're doing this to me. Please, just leave me alone. I can't take it anymore. All of this, right? Which I get it. I've been through this. It's very difficult to sort of get to this space where you can just stand strong in the face of all of it. But the more you do it and the more you start to see that every time you stand strong in your power, the more you elevate. Again, all of the prophets dealt with this Look at Jesus. In his hometown, people thought he was crazy. They thought he was a joke. He found his success when he left. Look what happened to Joseph. His brothers sold him for 20 pieces of silver. They couldn't stand him. It's a story as old as time, and it's no different to what any of you are going through. The events and the situations are all different, but energetically speaking, they all come down to situations that are trying to keep you from your path. What do we have at the heart, please? Wow, unbelievable. Lovers again. Lovers, lovers, lovers. Whew. And just to be clear, lovers isn't always what you think it is, okay? Not in a reading like this. Yes, of course, it can have to do with soulmates and all this stuff, but this reading here is something completely different. This lovers card here from this deck, it's like lovers in reverse. It represents an energy of arguments and discord, and this can very much be connected to family dynamics, right? All of these people, whoever that represents for you, creating these problems for you on your path, they're the ones that have actually knocked you down to begin with. And you know, these people don't ever stop, okay? They'll always do this. You know when they'll stop? When they're no longer here. So you need to learn how to deal with this. It's all a part of your mission. Just laugh at it. Take the story from it. I promise you, you will always find a piece of wisdom amongst these lessons. That is your job. That is what you came here to do. Analyze, extract, and transmute the wisdom to the collective. It says right there, treason and revolt. So it's almost as if these individuals think that you're betraying them because you're stepping into your power, which can also be them looking for excuses, looking for reasons. Well, they did this, that, and the other to me. Just making up a narrative, something that suits their own delusion, something that validates them coming against you in this capacity. And then we have the Strength card, Leo energy. And again, right underneath that Lovers. So this is actually quite interesting because we can see here how your higher self, right, or spirit, the divine, is lifting you up. And then right here, you're being lifted up. I just heard the overcoming. Okay, so now what we're starting to see is a push forward. It's like all of this is a vision, a story that spirit is trying to convey to you. Hey, this is what's going on. This is what's possible. This is what you've been subjected to, but we're going to show you how to turn all of this around. And, you know, right here, these puppies are really sticking out to me, little white dogs. Okay, so I feel that a lot of you out there have pets that I feel the divine has assigned to you, dogs, cats, horses, could be other animals as well. But a lot of people who are living in this modern day world that have been chosen for these paths have had animals assigned to you. It's how the divine can get so close to you. These animals, you take care of them. They're very innocent. They help keep your vibration very high. They help center you. They allow you to be a bit more playful and enjoy your life a bit more, you know, just to kind of slow down. Some of you really needed to hear that out there, okay? What do we have at the throat, please? Ah, perfect. Death card, Mumia, Scorpio energy, right there at the throat. So we saw the death card from one of the other decks earlier on in the reading. It was somewhere around here, I believe. And now it's coming out here. Okay, so death card is all about transformation. It's not literal, not in a reading like this. It's death to the old, right? Endings and rebirth, influences health and longevity. So see how you're sitting on this sand clock here, right? It's like you're taking control of your life. You're taking control of the hands of time, which is what I just heard. I just heard taking the bull by the horns. All right. So what we're beginning to see now is you transitioning, letting go and moving on into this new timeline. This new timeline that was divinely willed for you in this life cycle. It's actually beginning to unfold here, and it's right underneath this 10 of Pentacles. Okay, this is a monumental kind of shift that is unfolding and preparing to unfold in your life. And it's going to bring with it a tremendous amount of prosperity, abundance. 10 of Pentacles is one of the most abundant cards in the tarot as well. So it's all here. But this whole reading is also really emphasizing that this is something that you're doing for yourself. Spirit is just supplying you with the tools, but you are going to build whatever it is. What do we have at the third eye, please? Wow. Lovers again. Lovers, 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 lovers. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decks on the table, and we got the lovers from 4 of them. Now, this lovers here is the opposite from this one. This is read as a negative polarity, essentially a reversal. And this is positive, right? So see how your higher self has you now, right? You're being rescued. It says right there, joy and pleasure brings happiness, removes negative energy. It's like you walk away, right? And the divine's like, okay, go get him, right? The divine's like, we've got you. We needed you to take the first step because of your free will. We can't force you. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. What a reading. I knew this one was going to be a good one. I've been collecting the downloads for this for about 4 days. They really gave me a lot to work with for this reading, and I'm really pleased with the way this has turned out for all of you. All right, let's go ahead and close this out. What do we have at the crown, please, Spirit? Okay, too many cards, but we have the 6 of Wands and the Tower. I've been feeling that Tower energy as well throughout this reading. Okay, so 6 of Wands is an energy of victory, and that's also representing a personal triumph, which is what I was picking up on at the beginning of the reading. And then the Tower is representing the destruction of these false securities in your life. What do we have at the crown, please, Spirit? Oh, perfect. Perfect. There's literally not a better card to end this reading than the Sun. The Sun is the most positive card in the tarot, and it's right underneath the moon, transmuting the darkness into light. The vivifying God, restoration of life, protection from adversaries. It says right there, rabies and wild beasts, right? So it's like these people are like wild beasts in your life. It's like they're rabid dogs, so to speak. Look, there they are, right? Rabid dogs. This is how they're coming up. This is how Spirit sees them. Okay, I just heard Spirit sees these people as spiritually bankrupt and filthy. But these are the same people that try to gaslight you. They're the spiritual manipulators that disguise themselves as enlightened. So again, there's a tremendous amount of success here, materially, spiritually, physically, mentally. It's all here. So the final takeaway from all of this situation, this story, what you're going through here is all a part of this timeless battle between truth and deception, light and manipulation, and you are all a part of it. So stand in your power and move forward confidently in the knowing that you are a part of the greater mechanics, the greater design of helping evolve the collective and bringing forward the necessary wisdom for those that follow behind you and discover your teachings, whatever that may be for you. Okay, this is what I have for all of you. I certainly hope that you're able to take something useful for this and apply it to where you may be in your journey. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, also turn on your notifications, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.